Hello, welcome back to another episode of Voxel Heist, a Unity tutorial series where hopefully by the end we'll have a fully fledged game. This episode will be expanding on from the past two episodes where we've looked at the different settings. The first part was the volumes, second part was the quality options. This episode we'll be looking at different resolutions. Be rather similar to the last episode. So, getting straight into it, as there wasn't a task set, I'm going to duplicate with Control D our quality settings and set this new one to be the bottom half of our graphics panel. This we'll call resolution. And I'm going to change the text to resolution options. And I think that's just going to be it for our interface side of things. So heading into our script, you can see we've got a lot from the last two episodes, but we'll be starting with our resolution settings. So I'm going to do a public void resolution setup, and we'll also actually need a reference. So I'm going to grab our quality stuff, change this to resolution, and have our resolution drop down. I really struggled to spell the word, I don't know why. So in resolution, apparently I also struggled to say the word, but within our resolution setup, actually first we will need a variable. This will just be a private resolution array called resolutions. Now in our setup we can do resolutions is equal to our screen resolutions. We'll then grab our resolution dropdown and clear all of its options so we don't double, I guess, the population of it. And we'll create I think this will be a fun time to go through lists. So a list is similar to an array. However, you have a lot more options to work with, and I believe it's also a different I guess coding side structure. But in order to use a list, we need to be using system.collections.generic, which will give us options for lists. We'll set the first index to 0, or our current index to 0, and we'll go through a for loop. So for that, I just typed in the word for, pressed tab twice to autocomplete. Our length will be based upon the resolution length that we get from our screen resolutions. And within this for loop, we are going to go and create a string to, I guess, display the option that we have. So our string option will be equal to resolutions at the current index within our for loop, which is represented with I. I'll grab the width. We'll then do that to have, like, 1920 by 1080, or 1920 by 1080. Resolutions dot height, and then we can just go into our list called options and add this string as an option. I think whilst we're also doing this, we can add in a check to see if our resolutions currently match the, I guess, current resolution. So we can do this with checking against resolutions that we're currently on in this for loop and just compare the width and press enter. Okay. Resolutions i.height against the screen.currentResolutions.height. So it basically, if the option is currently matching the current resolution, then we can do current resolution index equals I. So we can now add the options that we have set. We can then set the current resolution index and refresh values. So this just makes sure it's updating correctly. We can run this in start, loading resolution, resolution setup. And now we can be applying our resolution when we actually update it in the dropdown. Set resolution, this will be index of resolution index. And I think that's all checking out. So at first we again get the resolution based on the index that has been selected in our dropdown. We can then set the actual resolution and full screen. We will work on full screen, I think, in a moment, but then we can also actually save our resolution index, which I will change because I think in our setup we have this line, I think. Yeah, I think we can just replace this. So within this gap, we can do int is saved resolution based on our resolution index in our player preferences. If not, it will be using the default, which is the one we've gained from this. We'll then make sure that the value is set to either the one that we had saved before or the current one. And then set resolution with our saved index. So now in theory, I think that just works, which would be nice. Rather short episode, but if it works, it works. So we now go to our dropdown. We have this based as it was copied and pasted from our other quality settings, so we just need to change that to set resolution. Go to our settings manager and put the resolution dropdown. And in theory, if I press play, we can go to options and we can see that we have different resolution types. Excellent. I will actually increase the scale to make it a bit more legible. So when I click on resolution options, we have 640 by 480, all sorts of different resolutions, which are great. I also wonder if I go to free aspect, does this? No, it doesn't. But now that we're in free aspect, we might have to sort that out. But lovely. So this should update once we have a built game. Okay, so to continue on with this episode, I think we're also going to add the options for full screen toggle and maybe VSync as well. So I guess I'll just go into settings. We'll add 2 toggles. We'll actually do it in its own panel. So it'll be 0.3 to 0. Clear that out. And I don't know, toggles, while I try and think of a better name. We'll get rid of the drop-down. We'll have this as full screen. Change the text to toggle full screen. And I'm tempted to just add a massive button, which I think I will do. So we can actually remove the label and have our toggle set to Gonna keep rolling with this, but we'll see what happens. That is peculiar. Is it because it's an image? Yes, it is because it's an image. Okay. Do that, and we can do that. Not sure what to have here. I think I'll just have the background a darker colour and the check mark be brighter colour. Why is that not working? Okay, that seems to have sorted that. Though it's still a bit peculiar. and the check mark. There we go, okay. So rather than having the check mark image, we'll just have the UI sprite and the background dark grey. So now in theory, there we go, okay. So now when this is toggled, we can toggle full screen or not in full screen. So now heading back over to our settings script, we can have another header. Don't need resolution, and this will be a toggle. Screen toggle. Full screen. And public void set full screen based upon a boolean. So if it is full screen, then it sets full screen. If not, don't set it to full screen. And I think that should work. So heading back over to Unity, go to our settings manager, grab our full screen toggle, which has done that correctly, and go into our toggle, grab our settings manager, go to our settings UI and set full screen. I'm not sure I'll be able to show this within the actual Unity editor, but we can just do a simple debug.log to see if it does toggle correctly. So if I press play, options, there we go, and it is toggling correctly. Excellent. Now I'm not sure if this is one we need to save, but yeah, I think I'll leave the full screen as is. And I'm going to copy and paste this to now allow us to do VSync, which I believe is I think pretty simple within Unity. So we can get rid of that. Just have VSync is VSync. And also again create another header. Have this as the VSync toggle. And try and remember where it is in terms of, oh, never mind, don't even have to. Yeah, so VSync is either on or off, 0 or 1. And I think that's that for that end. And now all we need to do is just duplicate our toggle. So duplicate with Control D, call that VSync, and set this to 0 and 0.5 to make that all the way down to the bottom. Have our text toggle VSync. Our toggle should reflect that it is for the VSync, and our settings manager should have the toggle on that. And I think just with the VSync, this will be one that we'd also need to load in. So we can go up to our start loading VSync. And don't need that pool, I don't. Yeah, I guess we could do it that way. Oh yeah, okay. So, what we're doing is we're getting out int for VSync. This is just making sure that if VSync is greater than 0, it equals 1, otherwise it doesn't equal. Okay, and then it's just comparing whether it is equal to 1 or not. So if it's true, it will be 1. If it's false, it will be 0. Excellent. So I think then we can just do set VSync based upon that boolean. And I think that's it. So make sure we're saved, head back over to Unity. Just making sure everything appears to be set up correctly. And try and remember where we can view if VSync is on or not. Okay, so it is project settings, quality, and I believe it's this. So if I close the window down a bit, press play. Go to options, toggle VSync. Oh, okay, no, it is. I just forgot that it doesn't update. But there we have it. I'm a bit concerned about the both false. Oh, because it wasn't reflecting the actual. No, it should have done though. Oh no. So we need to actually grab the VSync toggle. There we go. Code that line from earlier. So now it should actually reflect it correctly. So options, VSync is true, so it is on. False. If I then close this, load back in, it has saved it. Excellent. So yeah, this is the episode for today, where we went over the resolution options and the ability to toggle full screen and VSync. Yeah, I think this has cleared the majority of our settings that we intend to have for this game. So I will wrap it up here. And again, no task for this week because it's all new things and we've kind of done it all. So thank you ever so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description below. And I'll see you next week. Saying that, what have I got planned for next week? Next week, we will possibly be looking at Pro Builder, a package / plugin which allows us to easily build a layout within our game, which should be interesting. But anywho, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye.